Welcome to my channel Karma Romance Stories. Please like, subscribe for more videos.
My father looked me in the eyes and said, "Do not come tonight. You make everyone uncomfortable." Those words broke something inside me. I spent New Year's Eve alone while my family celebrated without me. I thought the pain would never end. But at exactly 12:01 a.m., my phone rang. My sister was crying so hard she could barely speak. She asked one terrifying question. "What did you do?" Dad saw the news and he can barely breathe. I smiled and gave the only answer that mattered. He found out too late. Stay with me because what happened that night changed every life in my family forever. The voice you selected does not support this language. Please click the upper right corner to switch to another voice. For years, I believed family meant forgiveness. Every birthday, every holiday, every celebration, I kept showing up hoping things would change. Instead, I became the family scapegoat. Whenever something went wrong, I was blamed. Whenever someone needed help, I was expected to give everything. But when I needed support, nobody stood beside me. My father always treated my sister like she could do no wrong. She could insult me at dinner and everyone laughed. She could spread lies about me and everyone believed her. If I defended myself, I was called dramatic. I learned to stay quiet because speaking only made things worse. As New Year's Eve approached, I received a message from my father. He did not ask how I was. He did not wish me happiness. He simply wrote, "Do not come tonight. You make everyone uncomfortable. Everyone wants a peaceful evening." I stared at my phone for almost an hour. I read those words again and again. I had never felt so unwanted in my own family. I wanted to argue. I wanted to beg for an explanation. Instead, I replied with only 2 words. "I understand." That evening, I stayed home. I turned off the lights. I watched fireworks through my window while hearing distant laughter from neighbors celebrating together. For the first time in my life, I welcomed a new year completely alone. But something else happened that night. Months earlier, I had quietly built my own business after losing my old job. Nobody in my family knew because they never asked about my life. They assumed I had failed. They enjoyed believing I would always need them. I worked every morning before sunrise. I learned new skills. I took every opportunity. I saved every dollar. Eventually, one idea changed everything. My company began growing faster than I imagined. Investors noticed. Reporters started calling. A national television interview was scheduled for New Year's Eve just before midnight. I never told my family because they had already decided who I was. I wanted my success to speak for itself. At exactly midnight, my interview aired across the country. The host announced that my company had just signed one of the largest business agreements of the year. My story inspired millions of viewers who had overcome rejection and betrayal. While my family celebrated together, someone turned on the television. My father saw my face. He heard the interviewer describe how I had been abandoned by the people who should have believed in me. He heard me thank every stranger who supported me when my own family refused. The room became silent. Nobody could deny the truth anymore. 1 minute later, my phone rang. It was my sister. She was crying. She asked, "What did you do?" "Dad saw the news. He can barely breathe." I answered calmly. He found out too late. Then I ended the call. The next morning, my phone exploded with messages. My father wanted to meet. My mother said everything had been a misunderstanding. My sister apologized for every lie she had ever told. Relatives who ignored me for years suddenly remembered my birthday. They wanted family photos, they wanted business advice, they wanted investment opportunities, but they never asked how I survived all those lonely years. They never apologized for watching me suffer. Their kindness arrived only after success. That told me everything. I met my father once. He looked older than I remembered. He admitted he believed every lie because it was easier than asking me the truth. He said he regretted pushing me away. I listened quietly. Then I told him something he would never forget. The hardest part was never being rejected. The hardest part was realizing the people who should have loved me needed proof from strangers before believing I had value. He lowered his head. There was nothing left to say. I wished him good health. Then I walked away. Some people think revenge means making others suffer. They are wrong. The greatest revenge is building a life so meaningful that those who rejected you must watch from a distance knowing they lost someone who never stopped believing in themselves. That New Year's Eve became the beginning of my real life. I stopped chasing acceptance. I stopped explaining myself. I stopped asking people to see my worth. Instead, I focused on becoming the person I always wanted to be. Years later, my business continued growing. I created jobs for hundreds of people. I supported charities that helped young adults rejected by their own families. Every holiday, I hosted dinners for people who had nowhere else to go. Nobody was ever told they made others uncomfortable. Everyone had a seat at my table. Sometimes I still remember that lonely night. The silence, the fireworks outside, the message from my father. But instead of feeling pain, I feel gratitude. Because rejection forced me to discover strength I never knew existed. If my father had welcomed me that night, I might never have changed my life. Sometimes the door that closes is the one leading you toward the future you are meant to build. The voice you selected does not support this language. Please click the upper right corner to switch to another voice. Never let someone else decide your worth. That people who reject you today may one day realize they lost someone extraordinary. Success cannot erase the past, but it can prove that your future never belonged to those who doubted you. Keep moving forward because your greatest chapter may begin the moment someone tells you that you do not belong.